All right, today we are going to make a coffee table out of canary wood, which we can see here. And it looks like this board is almost as big as I am, which I think just makes a statement about how small I am and not how big the board is. And so the first thing we want to do is get this crack fixed over here on the side so that whole piece doesn't just break off. And then flip it over, get some more glue worked into that joint from the back. And then I got this strap to pull the joint together so we could get the glue to dry properly. And when I squeezed it together, I saw some come out of the middle of that joint there. You can see it drip. So that made me really happy. It made me feel good about we got enough glue up in there to really hold that together. And then the next thing to do was at the end of the board, as you'll see here in a second, there was like this big dip. And I don't know, it was like a gouge almost. And I don't know if it was from like the industrial planer that this thing came out of or what happened there, but it was so obvious. I mean, you can see the video and you could really see it in person. So that absolutely had to be taken care of. And once that finished up, my favorite part, which is cleaning up the edges, using this nylon brusher. And then using the big belt sander to go over everything. Taking very good care, right, to use the belt sander slowly on a low speed so we don't make a big dip in the piece of wood. And a little more edge cleanup. And then right here, we still had a little piece of bark hanging on, so we decided to get rid of that with a chisel. And then on one edge here, as you can see here, there was like a big dent where something had like pressed on the wood or impacted the wood. And it really looked very unnatural, obviously. So I was attempting to use some wood files here to smooth that out a bit. And kind of restore the natural shape. And then the next thing we want to do is fill any little cracks or pits or voids in the wood. And to do that, we're just using a combination of a wood glue and sawdust, which we have tons of that because we were sanding the belt sander and everything else earlier. And then I was feeling this, and you could still feel it just a little bit, so I didn't like that. So I went ahead and did a second round on it. And a quick round over on the edges. And then you can see in the corner there, I nicked it with the router. So we had to get the file and pretend that never happened. And then next, I wanted to make slightly recessed pockets for the table legs to sit on, or in, I should say. So I made a little template for it. And you can see I was using a little bit of spacers there because I'm going to use a bushing. So I wanted to make sure to account for the offset. And then I did the pocket with the router, but my router skills suck. So we're going back with a chisel, trying to make it look nice, because it's very important for the piece of wood underneath the table legs no one will ever see to be very smooth and nice. This is critical, actually. Okay, so I checked them for level, made sure we were doing the right thing. And then there was this little like blemish here. It wasn't anything structurally concerning, but I didn't like the way it looked. So we filled that in with a little bit of black, and that actually matched the spalting in the piece of wood. So it kind of fit in nicely. It wasn't too garish or anything. And then sanding and sanding and then some more sanding. So much sanding. Although it was very satisfying in this part here to take a look at how our repair on that little crack worked out. It looked really good. You couldn't see it at all. Blends right in. So I was very happy the way that came out. And then in between sanding, we did some water popping of the grain. So that was very exciting. Which then, of course, led to more sanding. And then finally, we get to put the finish on, which always is the best part because you can really see the wood start to come to life. And then we flip it over and do the front side. Okay, and then we tape the legs down here, and I'm going ahead and locating the holes so I can put the inserts in. This was a bit nerve-wracking because I didn't want to drill all the way through into the top that I just got done sanding and finishing. If that happened, there probably would have been like actual footage of me crying. I was trying to make sure to really get these inserts in straight and even so we didn't have any problems with the screws later. All right, final step, we're going to put the maintenance oil on. And then after that goes on, we're going to wipe any excess off. And then we are done, and here's the finished product. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see everyone on the next one.